Now, the organisation in Brussels that's responsible for the administration of all funding programmes is called the European Commission. But for you down at the bottom there, you see this, you hear about the structural funds, Erasmus, Horizon 2020, and so on. Now, the way the structural funds work, the Irish government puts in an operational programme, they send it to Brussels. And the Commission says, we will fund it. But they give the money to the Department of Agriculture or to the Department of Social Welfare. And then they have an organisation in Dublin, typically, administering the programme. So when you're applying for structural funds, you could be applying to your local authority. So you're dealing with European rules, national rules, and sometimes local rules. And sometimes it's hell. And the evaluation is done at local level. Now, I never managed how to figure these things out, because decisions are made at the local level and I could never figure out what's happening. There are other programs like, I'm not an expert on Erasmus, but they get a national authority to manage the program. So you're applying locally. Now, I know this is how they did Leonardo. You applied to Dublin, the evaluation was done in Dublin and it was rubber stamped in Brussels. Now, this is the big difference with Horizon 2020. In Horizon 2020, it's managed by the Commission and what they call their own agencies in Brussels. So when you're applying to Horizon 2020, there's no national involvement. This is what I absolutely loved about European programs. They didn't, who you are or where you came from didn't matter. They were just interested in your ideas. Now, most people found that as a negative thing. I found it as a huge positive thing. They were only evaluating your ideas and the quality of your proposals. So that's one big difference. And what I found is that by participating in Horizon 2020 and European programs, it gave me a better understanding of what was happening at Europe. So can you see, with structural funds, you only learn the local bureaucracy. But this is another way of learning how Europe works. Now, here's something that all of you have to take home. They hire people like you as individuals. Now, they call you experts. That's a Brussels terminology. Now, the first time I went to Brussels, I was called an expert. They introduced me as the Irish expert. And I came back to Cork and I met a professor in UCC and he said, what are you doing at the moment? I said, I'm an expert with the European Commission. And he said to me, and whose opinion is that? So it's a terminology. It's not somebody who's a PhD or a professor or anything like that. It's somebody who can bring real practical advice to the table. So there's lots of opportunities where you as an individual get a contract. Now, it could be sometimes your organisation, but in most cases, you're there on a personal capacity. So we're going to have a look at these. Now, in most cases, they just cover your travelling expenses, but if you're an evaluator, they actually pay you to do it. So these are the two last ones are the ones that I want to look for.